Self-care isn't one size fits all. Your chart reveals the exact rituals that your body, mind, and spirit need to feel grounded, restored, and whole. Most people try to copy self care routines they see online, but your energy has its own requirements. So, in this video, I will be discussing exactly how to use astrology to understand your specific self care routine and rituals. So, if you want to know more, stick around. You definitely don't want to miss this. Hello, my loves. As always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. So, welcome to day 7 of the Wellness and Astrology series, and this is the final video in our first week dedicated to foundations. So, today we're kind of putting everything together that we've discussed throughout this past week. So, today we're talking about astrology for self care, specifically how to build a ritual routine that aligns with your moon sign, which represents your emotional needs, your rising sign, which can detail your physical energy, your sun sign, which is your identity and your vitality, and the planets that are most active in your chart. Every placement speaks a different self-care language, and when you honor that language, self-care finally works. Self-care is a buzzword or a buzz phrase, I should say, that is on everyone's lips all the time, especially in this chaotic life that we're all living right now. Everyone is focused on self-care. And yes, self-care does include doing things that take care of yourself, like a bubble bath, a spa day, right? And while those generally feel good, there are probably people that don't enjoy those things. And your natal chart can definitely detail that. And moreover, your natal chart can tell you exactly what you are into, what makes you feel good, what helps relax you, so that when you are engaging in self-care, you're not just following the masses like another sheep following the herd. You understand what you need, and so that you can give it to yourself. And I think that's more than half the battle, if you ask me. So let's briefly discuss why this even matters and the core problem. Most people, quote unquote, fail at self-care because they're doing rituals that don't match their chart. They're trying to regulate their emotions with tools meant for someone else. They're following trends that clash with their energy. They're using coping skills that contradict their wiring. And or they're ignoring their actual planetary needs. So self-care isn't supposed to feel forced. And I know that sounds simplistic and sort of common sense, but when you really think about it, the way that society pushes self-care, they kind of push it like it's another chore, like it's another thing to do on your to-do list. Okay, today is a Friday, go to the spa, do this, do that, right? It's not meant to be forced. It's really the most beautiful and opportune time to get back to yourself, to reconnect with yourself in a world that I feel constantly wants to disconnect you from yourself, particularly your highest self. Self-care is supposed to feel like coming home to yourself. You know how if you've been out all day, let's say that you have been at work all day, then you have to run errands. By the time you get home after being out for, let's say, 12, 14 hours, you know how good it feels to sort of kick off your shoes, to, get into some relaxing clothing, maybe take a shower, eat, and then just chill in your home, in your space where you feel comfortable. That's what self-care is supposed to feel like. And this is why astrology is the best self-care tool, because it shows you exactly what your system needs, not what's trending. So like I said before, there are some people who can't stand bubble baths. I mean, I'm particularly one of them. I'm not a bath person, right? For some people, having and sitting and having a cup of tea is not their thing. Maybe the way that they self-care is playing video games. Maybe the way that they self-care is reading a book. Maybe the way that they self-care is hiking in nature, right? I feel like the whole bubble bath with a blunt trope is the self-care that we're constantly being fed. And although for some people that may really work, A good spa day may really work. As with anything involving the self, and specifically the self and astrology, you have to find out what works for you. And of course, your natal chart tells you all about that. So now let's just jump right in and discuss how to build a self-care routine using your natal chart. So step number 1, your moon sign equals your emotional self-care. So this has a lot to do with your nervous system. So let's say you've got a fire moon, you'll want to do movement rituals. If you've got an earth moon, you want to use grounding rituals or engage in grounding rituals. Air moon, communication rituals. Water moon, emotional release rituals. Okay, and definitely check out my moon sign and your mental health video that I posted a couple of days ago for more information on the correlation between your moon and your mental health. But suffice it to say, your moon sign equals the ritual that calms you instantly. And that's the thing to remember, because in this hellscape that the world tends to be today, calming your nervous system should always be step 1. And that's why looking at your moon sign to determine what kind of ritual to do is the first step, not only in calming your nervous system, but in also beginning your self-care ritual or routine. Now, the second step is your rising sign, and that equates to your physical self-care. So this is your body and energy output. Fire rising, start your day with movement. Earth rising, start slow and grounded, but do something that you can repeat and be consistent with. Air rising, crisp air, breath work, and stretching are definitely going to be your best friends. And finally, water rising, water rituals, baths, cleansing, and softness. So your rising sign equals how your body wants to be treated. So notice we start with the moon sign, which is all about calming your nervous system immediately. Then we move on to the physical body. So how does your body want to be treated? You would look to your rising sign for that. Then step number 3, you would look at your sun sign, which correlates to your vitality self-care. So this is what makes you feel alive. So if you're a fire sun, creativity, passion, and action allow you to feel a boost of vital energy. If you're an earth sun, stability, craft, and sensory rituals are your best friends. If you're an air sun, learning, variety, and social stimulation likely make you feel alive. And finally, if you're a water sun, depth, imagination, and emotional connection are the keys to vitality for you. So your sun sign equals the ritual that restores your spark. So as we put this all together, the first step is calming your nervous system. You look to your moon sign. The second is understanding how your body wants to be treated. You look at your rising sign. And now that we've sort of done the clearing with those two, now we're reinvigorating. And so for that, we look to our sun sign. And then finally, step number 4, the planet dominating your chart equals your burnout ritual. Okay. So this is where we talk about yesterday's video regarding planetary burnout. Okay. And so for that takes a little more information. It's not just your natal chart. It's like your natal chart and the transits to figure out where you're burnt out and what planet that correlates to. And so just as a quick refresher, if you're experiencing sun burnout, then you should rest from performing. And again, check out yesterday's video. I will put it in the description box below so you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're experiencing moon burnout, this is when you're going to want to enact emotional boundaries. If you're experiencing Mercury burnout, a good brain dump and some silence will do you some good. Venus burnout, pleasure and softness to recalibrate your system. Mars burnout, release anger and move so that you can dispel some of that energy. Jupiter burnout, simplify and start saying no. Saturn burnout, remove one burden, and if you can, delegate some of your responsibilities. Uranus burnout, reduce stimulation and reduce distractions. Neptune burnouts, cleanse your energy. A spiritual bath or a physical bath can definitely do the trick. And then finally, Pluto burnout, release control. Your chart shows which planet needs attention, and your ritual routine should support that planet. So, to reiterate this 4-step process, the first is calming your nervous system. You do that by looking at your moon sign in your natal chart. The second is figuring out how your body wants to be treated, how you want to feel physically. You would look to your rising sign. And then finally, you want to look at your sun sign in order to restore vitality to your life. And if you are experiencing burnout, you want to figure out which planet is the planet that is being overworked or overused. And for that, you can look to your natal chart and the transits to your natal chart to figure out which planetary burnout you're experiencing and then engage in the corresponding actions depending on that planet. And with that 4-step process, you can craft a pretty good, if I say so myself, self-care ritual or routine. Now, this could be something that you do every once in a while where you're feeling overwhelmed, or you can make it a regular part of your daily habits. And earth signs, I'm talking to you with that specifically, you can make it a daily not even a daily, but maybe a regular ritual that you consistently follow. And now you have something that's tailor-made to you, that makes sense to you, that doesn't have you doing things that don't feel good, that doesn't have you doing things that feel like a chore. Now you are working in alignment with how you are designed. And that's where self-care really becomes potent. And it really helps you get back to yourself, and it really helps you reset in this chaotic life in which we're living. Now, I know that I touched on this before, but we need to talk about the shadow side of things, and specifically why your self-care routine hasn't been working. So here's the truth. Most people create self-care routines from their shadow, not their chart. Fire signs ignore rest. Earth signs push through fatigue. Air signs skip grounding. And water signs forget boundaries. And that's an important point because while your shadow side needs to be addressed, if you're looking to reset, you don't want to do it from your shadow side. You kind of want to do it from your foundation, from your blueprint. That's why I, created this 4-step process for you to create your self-care ritual, right? And again, it also speaks to the fact that many of us are just following trends. For some, many of us are just like, well, I think that self-care is important because I hear everyone talking about it. And so you may be enacting things for the sake of the fact that everyone else is doing it, as opposed to the fact that maybe you really need it, or perhaps you need something particular, right? Hopefully that made sense. But you don't need more discipline. You need a ritual that honors your elemental nature. And that's the most important thing. If there's anything that you get from this video, when in doubt, consult your natal chart. Essentially, it'll tell you exactly what you need, when you need it, and how you need it. All right. But make sure that you're not creating these rituals from your shadow, that you're looking at how you're designed and creating it from there. So now here is a wellness tip. Follow the 3-step process that I enumerated before. That's the wellness tip for this video. So again, this is building your ritual, your self-care ritual in 3 steps. So step 1, choose a ritual for your moon. This regulates your emotions. So that could be journaling, walking, crying, voice notes, grounding, touch, etc. Remember, the point of the moon is to calm your nervous system first. Then step 2, choose a ritual for your rising. This helps regulate your body. So stretching, tea, breath work, shower, fresh air. Your rising sign will tell you what your body needs when it comes to self-care. And then step 3, choose a ritual for your dominant planet. Whatever planet is doing the most right now in your chart. And again, you would need your natal chart plus the transits to your natal chart to really understand this fully. But choose a ritual for that planet, as this prevents burnout. So, for example, sunlight for the sun, pleasure for Venus, quiet for Mercury. Put all these three together, and you have a personalized routine ritual built directly from your chart. Okay. You can also do something based on your sun sign to revitalize your energy. So, these three steps really help you to power down and sort of detox. And then looking at your sun sign and creating a ritual around that can help restore and vitalize your energy. So, it's kind of more of a 4-step process as opposed to 3. But either way, even if you do the 3, you'll be good as gold, I promise. So, apart from the blueprint, which is my signature natal chart experience, I also do intuitive readings. So, tarot and oracle card readings. However, mine differ because I look at your transits. Because more than anything, while tarot and oracle themselves can really help answer your question, understanding what's going on in your life via the transits to your natal chart is as good as gold. And honestly, when people are going through something troubling or challenging and they have a question or they need some insight, the transit can usually indicate planetary burnout, right? And in understanding that and examining that, I'm usually able to give them a detailed ritual that they can do, a simple practice. I'm not someone who's big on giving you a whole list of things to do. It's really more so about just, okay, why don't you try this one thing? Because here's the other thing with self-care that I've come to understand. Sometimes people, like society is very big on overconsumption and doing the most. Society will have you spending hundreds of dollars on an afternoon in the name of self-care. And while it may feel good, especially if you have Venus burnout, it may feel good to engage in retail therapy or make yourself feel luxurious and calm. You don't always have to do the most with these rituals. And that's something that I want you to understand. The littlest change can shift your energy. And then when your energy shifts, you shift. So don't think you have to spend the most money. You have to do the most elaborate rituals and do this whole process. It could literally be just taking a walk in nature, which is free, at least for the time being. All right. So make sure that you think about that when crafting your self-care rituals in accordance with your natal chart. You don't have to do the most at all. And if you're interested in signing up for the blueprint, which is my signature natal chart reading experience, the link to that is in the description box below. You would book a free clarity call first, and then we would take it from there. And if you find that you're experiencing planetary burnout and maybe you need a reading or some quick guidance, then you can always schedule a reading with me as well. And that will be tagged to this video and also linked in the description box below. And as always, if you want a fun little quiz as a foray into all of this information, I created a self-care signature quiz so you can understand your self-care signature and archetype, which could help in crafting your particular self-care ritual. And if you're interested in that, the link to that will be in the description box below. All right, my loves, thanks so much for tuning into this video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.